All right, it's 10 o'clock, Monday, August 4th, regular session of the Board of Supervisors. First item on the agenda is the agenda itself and the minutes of the two July 28th meetings.
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion and a second to approve is presented. Any further comment? All in favor?
Aye.
Any public comment back there? Okay, seeing as how there's none, we'll move on to new business, Mr. Auditor.
Claims are prepared, sir. I move to approve claims as presented.
Second.
Motion and a second to approve the claims as presented. Any further comment? All in favor? Aye. Motion passes. Any payroll, Bob?
We have the warrant register for period ending 7/26/2025.
Second.
Motion and a second to approve the payroll registers presented. Any further comment there? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. Drainage.
I have no new drainage problems to report.
On drainage, Joe, you know, anything more about Thornton? Did they do the first application yet?
He was gonna contact me when they did it. I've not been contacted yet, so I'm assuming the rain kind of delayed it. You got my calendar, I'll update it this week if I don't hear back, so.
I went through Saturday night on my way back and I couldn't tell, so.
I'll have an update for you for next week, but I don't hear from him first.
Going on to item number 4, we have an application, Tom.
Yeah, this is from Bobby Bosch to do fireworks on August 9th. Family gathering they've done in the last couple of years. They have all their insurance in place, so we recommend approval.
I move to approve the application.
Second.
Motion is second to approve the firework application as presented. Any further comment? All in favor? Aye. Motion passes. County Engineer Brandon Billings, good morning.
Yes, good morning. So obviously, most of our activities are circling around the disaster declaration work. So we did a lot of assistance with Rockwell to help them get their city kind of open up and ready for this weekend. We helped conservation and the campground down there get that ready so they could be ready for the tractor pulls over the weekend. And then we got across South Shore so that the car crews and everything works out. There's still a couple of trees we need to remove along there, but nothing was unsafe or, an obstruction. Today they're in Ventura Heights, trying to start hauling off the trees and everything that's out there. There's a couple of residents that were across the road from there with significant tree damage that one of them, we said for us to hold it off, I had certain sizes that needed a log size too, and he hauled them off himself to our spot that we're going to burn them at. And we gave him permission to do that so that we didn't have to do it and that he didn't have to resize them. So it worked out well that way. We're hauling them out to we call it Dugan Spit. It's in the northwest corner of the county. It's away from other houses because it's going to be a building sized pile of logs that's going to get burnt.
The B20.
Yeah.
Is that is it an actual pit or?
Yeah. Well, no, it's just a gravel stockpile area that we have. And it's next to a nature reserve area that conservation maintains. So we're going to have quite the pile out there, but the Ventura Fire Department offered to go out there and burn it. So we're going to work with them and make sure the pile is oriented and done in a way that they're comfortable with doing the burn so that we don't want them to get overwhelmed by something that's too big for them. And we don't want to have to all spread out so that it takes too long to burn. So we're working with them to make sure we do that correctly. Talking with Eric, there was a point where the state was going to bring in a giant grinder to just grind up all the trees and then haul off the waste. But they started waffling a bit on whether they were going to pay for it or not, and this and that, and the uncertainty just wasn't worth it. Ventura Fire Department said that they'd burn it, so we're just going to go with that because we know for sure that that'll work. So that's how we're excited to handle it.
State park is closed in McIntosh because of trees all over the place. I didn't know if the state resources were going to be utilized there, and it's something that could be put together.
Yeah, I think so. I think I can't guarantee it, but we're trying to kind of work together with everybody, like the city of Ventura, because the mulcher's not coming in. They want their stuff to burn, but they don't really have anywhere to burn it. So they want us to help them haul it up to our burn pile so that we can just burn it together. So I said, as long as I talk to Eric and that sounds like something that would be covered under the disaster, the cost of hauling it, that we would probably be on board with that. Just, I said, it depends on everything else that's going on. And we like to help. We just have to make sure we maintain what we're doing.
Have an excavator there.
We also realized that, yeah, we'll probably have both of them up there, honestly, while it's going on, just in case something, if something starts happening, I'd rather have more equipment up there than less. So, we do need to get a couple grapple buckets for our skid steers. We figured out, we rented them during this and kind of made us realize that we need to own one of those. So that'd be something we'll look at in the near future, next couple of years. We'll try and
Get something like that from like, not Frankie, whatever it's called now.
I'm not even sure where they rented it from, to be honest with you. It's somewhere local here because we had it right now. So
That's just the attachment you can put on the,
it's a bucket itself with hydraulic claws. Yep.
that you could use that on how many pieces of equipment do you got that?
Right now there's 3 skid steers and they would be able to use on all 3 of them.
Those big enough to pick up those heavy logs?
The 2 new ones are. The old one that's in Mason City doesn't have enough guts in it at the moment. Yeah, but the two new ones, as long as they're sized like we asked people to size them, they can do it.
So where do those things run?
Probably $5,000 around there. Yeah, so it's not a huge, I mean, that's a lot of money, but it's not a huge investment. It's not $100,000. So it's something that we're just gonna kind of work in there over the next couple of years and at least have one around.
And be a good thing to have.
Yeah, I mean, it's useful just on the regular storm days when regular trees go down. You know, the skid loader can go out there and clean up the road and push the tree off and sometimes break some dead branches off without having to have a bunch of other stuff out there. So I think it's something we'll look at.
How about the foreman, other parts of the county I know they've been tied up in Ventura and Rockville, but have they had any issues anywhere else in the county?
Mason City helped in Rock Falls, pushing some trees and doing some things. Conservation's doing a pretty good job at getting in there. Gonna grind a lot of these trees that were put off into the ditches. And we're gonna work with them, make sure they're positioned in the right spot. And if they're too big, we'll find other things for them. So we're partnering with them pretty good. I think that's why I like it when we can help them out in the campgrounds once in a while, get some of like these big trees and stuff out of the way they don't have equipment for, because then they can come grind our trees that we don't have the equipment for. It's a nice way to keep everybody busy and not have to have multiple redundant pieces of equipment out there.
I know, especially at the last conservation board meeting, I don't remember what project you guys were working on, the bridge planks, I think.
Yep.
Yeah, but they do appreciate, I think one of them made the comment that hasn't been done in the past and previous prior to so they really appreciate the collaborative effort that you and conservation have together. So
Yeah, it works out nice when we all work together. There's a lot of benefit to having everybody share.
Specifically, who are you collaborating with in Ventura? I mean, their public works director.
Josh is, I couldn't remember his name, but yeah, I think it's so.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and working with him, and then he's coordinating with fire department.
Yep.
Everything you just keep in documentation,
Correct.
there might be some.
Time and materials and equipment time, everything, there's in document. We even say where the load comes from and where it's going to. Which I know when FEMA events happen, I know this isn't FEMA, but they like to know where it came from and where it went. So we're keeping track of all that stuff. Took pictures of things just to have, this is why we needed to take 40 loads. Look at this picture of the trees in this spot.
And maybe one of you guys already asked this, but in folks being out in the rural areas, did you guys find any significant damage to any culverts, any roads,
No, we just had a bunch of trees down randomly throughout. I mean, we had a whole bunch of roads that were closed right away.
what's the time frame on the disaster?
That I'm not sure. Eric didn't give me a closure date as to when we can keep submitting stuff, to be honest with you.
Case in my point, if there's other stuff that pops up
Yeah.
that you guys didn't catch right away.
I imagine it's a while.
Yeah.
I mean,
It'll probably be a couple months at least. Yeah. Yeah, so like I said, we pushed a whole bunch of trees off in a ditch. Conservation obviously has been busy, so they haven't been able to go around and tell us which ones are gonna be able to reasonably grind and which ones just need to be disposed of. So we still got a bunch of time going around and doing that and getting rid of the trees that they can't take care of.
Those that you pushed off into the ditch, how do you get and reclaim those with the excavator or?
Yeah, we take excavator out there, yeah, with the grapple and we just, if they can only shred the top half, we'll pull it up on the road and we'll chop it off and we'll throw the bottom in a dump truck and we'll leave the top part out there.
I'm assuming they'll go back after all those that were put in the ditch, right?
Yep, we put work orders in at each location, so they know where they're at, and then we assign the work order to them, and then when they get done, they respond to us saying that it's completed, so we know it's out of there.
So,
So we have a pretty smooth system with them.
you think the rest of this week?
Yeah, that'll be the only thing they're doing this week, just to, I mean, by the time we get done in the heights, we'll start going around and grabbing some of the other things that we know the conservation can't handle, get them off there before the fire department starts thinking about when they want to burn. They might wait until this winter to burn that. I'm not sure what the time frame is gonna be. Something I gotta figure out still, and I'll let you guys know when they give us more info on that.
Probably when the crops are all.
Yeah. At the time that's
Sparks.
least likely, to cause a giant fire in the northwest corner of the cover, but
Air quality like Canada, right?
yeah, exactly. It's gonna look like a forest fire. I thought we did our dust control usually this week when the second application happens. Because of this, the work we're doing now couldn't get to all of them, so we called the dust control people and said we're gonna push it back to the 11th. So it's about a week and a week later than what it would have been, but it's just other things we had to take care of.
Meaning they still had some roads to scrape before.
Yeah, and if we get all done before the 11th, we'll tell them they can go, but like I said, just blanket tell your customers the 11th is the date now because of the wind disaster.
Hey, going on to item number 6, Brandon.
Yep, so this was a request that was approved for a block party, just a couple blocks away from where JB Johnson did his block party. It's not a yearly one. I think it's a 50th birthday party, if I remember.
The anniversary.
Anniversary, there we go. And they would like to close that little section in front of their home for 3 hours. Essentially the same idea that JB does for his block party. And I guess as long as they agreed to the signage being rented on their own, having the road completely accessible for emergency services and nobody's trapped inside there. I said I'd be okay with it as long as I talked to you guys and you were okay with it.
Yeah, I'm fine with it. I'd make a motion to approve the closure.
Second.
Motion and a second to approve the closure presented by the engineer. Any further comment? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. Correspondence announcements.
To adjourn.
Motion and a second to adjourn at 10:13. All in favor? Aye. We are adjourned.